I made a video before about vested interests, so I'm not going to make this video very long. A vested interest is any interest that is hidden, because an open interest is an interest that's obvious. You need a job. That's an open interest. Why? Because without a job you need to have an income. Without income you can't pay rent, so that's obvious. A vested interest would be that you don't want a job because you get welfare benefits. And now that because you get welfare benefits, you now have time to work on other stuff that you want to do. You can take extra courses. You can take days off. So now your unemployment may be seen as a problem by others, but for you, there's a vested interest in that unemployment. Because there are other benefits that you can now work on that you couldn't do otherwise if you had a full-time job. So a vested interest is a hidden interest that's not always that obvious. That's why it's important to look at the bigger picture. Because when you only look at the small picture, or if you only look at what's in front of you, you will not notice the vested interest into something. Let's say you have a nation where you don't have railways, but you have a lot of bus corporations or bus companies that offer transportation. What happens if railway developers from Japan or Korea come with permission from the local government and they construct a railway and they import trains to transport people throughout the country? What's going to happen to all those bus companies? Many of them will go bankrupt. So all the people that work at those bus companies, they have a vested interest in keeping railways out of the nation. Even though transportation throughout the nation is slow, it does create job opportunities. The moment you have railways, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. And because there are no social provisions for those without a job, that will lead to criminality and all kinds of social problems. So in this case, even the authorities have a vested interest in keeping railways out of the nation. So a vested interest, as I mentioned before, is a hidden interest. It's covert. You don't see it immediately. Now, what I want to tell you in this video is that you need to see the vested interest in anything before you can understand what's truly going on. Whatever issue that's going on around you, or if it's a societal issue, something that happens to a lot of people, and the problem or the issue continues over a long period of time, that means that there's a vested interest in keeping that problem alive. Someone told me this when I was in high school. Actually, it was a teacher. The teacher said, if the police would solve all crime, then there wouldn't be any police anymore. The police is there to fight crime, to serve and protect. So there needs to be crime for the police to be in existence. Because why would you need an institution to fight crime if there's no crime around? So to legitimize the existence of that institution, the police cannot solve all crime even if they could. So even the police has a vested interest in the existence of crime. So yes, they will pick up criminals, will arrest people, but will not, even if they could, they will not solve all crime, because then they would delegitimize their own institution and they will lose their significance as well as their social status. So think about this also when it comes to spiritual matters. Whenever the enemy is resisting you, because there's a vested interest that he wants to protect. Whenever commoners persecute you when you walk by faith, it's because there's a vested interest that is threatened by you walking by faith. For example, if there is a neighborhood somewhere, if there's a ghetto, and everyone has agreed that nothing good will ever come from that neighborhood. And let's say that you're not from that neighborhood, but you pass by, you share the gospel. In that neighborhood there's a lot of prostitution, drug dealing, gambling. You share the gospel, you leave. 2 people there receive the word. They begin to walk by faith. And within a half year, all the drug dealing has stopped, the casinos are closed. So those 2 believers have a huge impact over there. So because all the darkness, or the external darkness is now gone, people can now recover People now have the time to face their emotional issues, and now there's healing that takes place over there. So 2 years later, you have people that have been admitted to college from that neighborhood. So what's wrong over here? Well, all the other people in society, they felt good about themselves because at least they're not in that neighborhood. They now need to look for another neighborhood to look down upon. And if they don't find a neighborhood to look down upon, very soon they'll begin to escalate internally because their mental relief depends on them not being part of that neighborhood. So they need a neighborhood to be in a bad state for them to be at ease. And it's this ease that they have together that keeps them in line, that hinders them, because they have something to lose. But if that neighborhood recovers, then what is the basis of their self-esteem collectively? They have no anymore. And once they face this, you will have frustration, you will have escalation, you will have more domestic violence. So now you have the locals over there that don't want that neighborhood to recover. They have a vested interest in the existence of the dire circumstances of the neighborhood. So, whenever there's resistance, whenever there is contention, what are the vested interests? That's how the police solves crime. They look at the vested interest. So, always look at the bigger picture, agree with Christ, and be at peace.